Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Big T today. I'm Frank Vespi, joined by my friend and track announcer Dave Rodman. We're going to be talking Timonium, surprisingly enough. Beginning of the final racing weekend here at the Big T. We're going to be racing first post 1240. We're going to be racing today, tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday, Labor Day. Special Labor Day card to close out the Timonium meet. And Dave, we got a lot of things going on this weekend, including two horses getting inducted into the Maryland Thoroughbred Hall of Fame tomorrow.
That will be tomorrow afternoon, and come out and see that. And I know one of them is Smoke Lacken.
One is Smoke Lacken, and the other, and this is interesting.
I voted for Smoke Lacken for the last 80 years.
Well,
no, not that long, but it's been a while.
I hope not.
Finally.
Well, you finally got what you wanted. The other one is Star de Nascra. And the interesting thing about Star de Nascra is on tomorrow, September 3rd, 1977, right here at the Big T, Star de Nascra won the Timonium Futurity.
Do we have videotape of that?
No.
Or kinescope or something.
Daguerreotype, maybe.
Yeah.
I will see if maybe we get a picture to put up. We do have some tape of his runs in a couple other races in his career, including he won the Whitney in 1979, defeating the great and my first favorite horse, Alydar.
I did. I watched that race, actually, and going to in the voting process. Interesting race. Uses speed to his advantage, right?
Yep. Just held on at the end. Alydar coming late, not quite getting there. Those of us who rooted for Alydar, as great as he was, and he was fantastic, he made a little bit of a habit of not quite getting there in some of the races we might have followed in those days.
So that's tomorrow, Star de Nascra and Smoke Lacken.
Entering the Maryland Thoroughbred Hall of Fame. All right, let's turn our attention. We got 9 races on the docket here today in Timonium. And we're starting with maiden 5,000, bottom level maidens going 6.5 furlongs, 2 turns here on the main track. Everything's on the main track at the Big T. And Dave, we've done this before. Similar horses, jumbled up a little bit. You're going with the 3-horse HOV Lane.
Well, I sense a bit of frustration here from the Glenn Gonzalez barn and Nobody's Secret. And me too, because actually I played this horse a few times after putting him on Stable Mail, and he just failed to follow through. Now they're getting into that nickel level with him today. After a little time away from the races, I'm going for a horse in more recency, Turf to Dirt, and that's HOV Lane, or as they say in some places, Hov Lane. So Kenny Cox, believe it or not, he's got a great record, Turf to Dirt. First of all, I think she's faced a little bit tougher in most recent times, including Ribaldry on the turf there, Miss Aulet, and I think she's taking that big drop just like Nobody's Secret. But Turf to Dirt, a full sister to Beltway Bob, who's basically a turf closing, a router who needs a pace all her own way with no early speed. But I think HOV Lane is going to be perhaps a little bit closer today. Turf to Dirt sprints. Kenny Cox 3 for 10 the last 5 years and a positive ROI, $2.06. Take a little shot. Baltimore Bobs have been okay for me this meet.
That is a pretty good stat there. 3 for 10 with a positive ROI. Kenny Cox, Turf to Dirt in sprints. I use this horse a little bit underneath. But the question that I've struggled with is there much to suggest? I mean, I think he needs to move up a little bit here, switching over to the dirt. And
yeah.
I'm not sure how much I saw that suggested it. Seems like you're putting your faith in the angle.
Well, I'm putting my faith in the others have been moving sideways for a long time, okay? Including a little slice of pie, 0 for 12, Nobody's Secret, 0 for 11. Who knows? Maybe today's the day. And I'm going for a little bit of a price play in the opener there. Certainly, I'm going to protect with the 2 and the 4.
I use the 4 on top here, a little slice of pie. This one kind of chased the winner last time, which turned out really not to be a winning strategy for her. She kind of dropped out of it after that. Race before I thought was pretty good. Had some fairly significant traffic trouble in the final 16th of a mile. I think the added ground here going from 5.5 to 6.5 and 1 turn to 2. Going to be a positive for a little slice of pie. Del Capuano and Yana Viles, who is aboard, they've done good work together. So, as you said, Dave, this one's 0 for 12, and there's plenty not to like about that, but maybe one more time.
Yeah, Glide, we got the bottom portion of the mix out of that same devious race with Illusion of Hope second. Got pinched back a little bit at the start there. Wasn't far behind a little slice of pie, your top pick in there if you're looking for somebody underneath Frank's pick.
Let's turn to the second race. It's 5,000 beaten claimers going 1 mile here at Timonium. That is a 3-turn voyage. And, well, looky here, Dave. You and I landed on the same horse.
Yeah, I think we agree a lot more today than we have in the previous 3 days of the meet. Other things equal, Michael Gorham almost with a good run the other day with a horse named 4 on 7. You know, you think of Michael Gorham kind of as a Delaware guy, but he's 29% at Timonium the last 5 years, 4 for 14. So he does come here to win. It comes out of a race won by Vicarage that's produced a couple of winners, and maybe this is another one out of there. Greiser, Hooray for Harvey, the 2 winners out of that race with 74, 50, upper 50 type buyers. That's going to be my top pick here, other things equal.
Yeah, this horse, this is a kind of a sneaky class drop for this horse. The condition of that last race where he ran third was, it was a screwball condition. It was horses that hadn't won at a given claiming price or above at a given distance in a period in 5 months. It was kind of written, I think, probably for a specific horse, perhaps the winner. I didn't go back and check that. But it was also the kind of condition that lets in a whole lot of horses. It didn't exclude a lot. So that was probably equivalent to more or less an 8,000 claimer. And one of the other sort of contenders in this race, the one horse Dashing Lou, finished behind Greiser last time. Greiser ran I believe 5th in the race that Other Things Equal comes out of. So Other Things Equal looks to be a horse kind of coming in, a little bit of a sneaky class drop. Gene Alvello, you mentioned Mike Gorham. Mike likes to do well at the fair. He's a Massachusetts guy who liked the fairs up there when they still had them, so takes him home maybe a little bit. So Other Things Equal, both of our top selection here. Anything else you want to say here about the second?
No, the PhD in condition book reading gets you a couple of winners out of that race, right? I mean, that's probably, I mean, your point is that perhaps that race is a little tougher than it looks on paper, and so maybe the reason for 2 winners, maybe 3, coming out of that race July 28th at Delaware. Let's hope we're right there. Both of us on Other Things Equal. Maybe a closer in here underneath, Big Rinny. Horses really never had any early speed in his life, but I thought he's come out of a decent race, a good effort behind Albertano. Money in the Banksy ran okay here the other day, led and prompted the entire way and finished 3rd. So maybe for a share underneath at a good price on the line at 10-1. You can probably get close to that. Or if that double digits in your exacta, should he decide to run late and the track favors his style.
Big Rinny did break his maiden here in 2019.
So he's 1 for 1 at the Big T.
Exactly,
yeah,
a little bit of back Timonium form. You can't beat that. Let's turn to the third race. This is a fun little heat here. We got maiden special weight 2-year-old fillies going a half mile, 4 furlongs here at Timonium, and look at us. We're geniuses or not so much, and time will tell. But we both land on Mama's Eyes, Dave.
Making a little bit of a turnaround for the Jerry Robb barn. They've had a little tough luck this meet, I think. Really had a horse scratch the other day who acted up in the gate. Was it the finale on Sunday?
Was the favorite.
Yeah, was the favorite in the race. Just got beat by Baltimore Bud. Oh, darn. Last week.
Who had that? Did you know anyone who had that horse at 20-1?
Somebody at the table. I can't remember.
Dave Rodman had it.
In any case, it's time for them to turn it around. They ran 1-2 yesterday at Delaware in a stake, I believe it was. I believe they were 1-2. I know they had the winner at least. Mama's Eyes, looking at the pedigree, is probably the highlight reason we both picked her, right? Or wrong. She's a half to a lot of hope. Street Loot, multiple stakes winner. A lot of hope, who won that Robert Hilton at Charlestown last week. So all indications are she should be able to run. Will the half mile be a little short for her, or maybe she's got good early speed? Well, a lot of hope, kind of a good, close to the pace type horse, but has come around lately in running from off the pace. Street Loot, always been a good quality speed horse. So if she's anything like her siblings, she's a horse to beat. First out.
I tend to agree with that, and both of those horses won at first asking. I like the way that I like the Rob horses. The Rob first timers have tended to run well off, this kind of workout pattern with a half-mile gate work coming into this race. And a fun factoid on the Rob barn, which is a very high percentage barn, does very well, kind of all over the place. In fact, won a stake yesterday with a 2-year-old at Delaware. But 0 for 8 with maidens at Timonium in the last 5 years, but 6 of those have finished in the money. So you were saying maybe do, and I kind of feel like if you're in the money all the time, sooner or later you win some races, and so we both agree on Mama's Eyes here.
Maybe having something to do with that is that half mile, right? I mean, it's you got to have your game plan on go with early speed. And a horse like Lady Serenity, who we know has early speed. Matter of fact, she went way too fast in her debut, went quick in her turf try, came back a little more reserve pace. Third time out, but still failed. I mean, she's the kind of horse that if they really want to let her rip, like they did first time out, Mama's Eyes better be pretty quick by the time they reach the far turn.
Yeah, I think, Lady Serenity is an interesting horse, and she has led after 4 furlongs in all 3 of her starts. Now they're only going 4 furlongs, so if she could just do what she has done, she could be a winner here. But you do get concerned with how abruptly she's kind of stopped in those starts, Dave. I mean, she was first by a length leaving the furlong grounds last time, ends up 4th, beaten by almost 5 lengths, and they're going to be running here. She's going to have to work. So
my guess is their game plan is to be like first out. Send and go.
Yeah,
that's just
all you
a
can
guess,
do.
But maybe not. Maybe they'll try to reserve a little bit, not go too quick. I think they'll play it as the rider will play it as the race plays out. If Mama's Eyes is very quick, well, she may be in trouble. But if she gets out there solo, Lady Serenity could give them something to think about.
No, but we don't expect her to be forward pretty late.
And we don't know what kind of speed Devon on Earth or Basarati or Moco Gold, the inside 3 first-time starters, have either. So I went with Basarati in the mix. Same 2 for Devon on Earth. Don't have a whole lot to back up either one of them, except that Holy Boss is, he was a speed horse. So perhaps she's quick early. Joe Politi holds on to a filly she bred, gives it to Brittany Russell. They may be thinking a little longer in their game plan. Grey Dar filly, Devon on Earth, is a sibling to a 2-time winner, so she could be a runner too. But I'm going with a filly I think will be kind of in the clear, either chasing or dueling in the 5.
Yeah, we agree on that race in general. One thing I do want to say quickly about Basarati, I'm very, very curious to see her. Joel Politi has bred some good horses over the years. I believe he owns Serengeti Empress, who won the Kentucky Oaks. And this horse has a ton of works. This is a lot of works underneath a horse to go 4 furlongs at Timonium. And I guess I'm very curious to see whether this is the 11th work or ready to rip today.
That's why I'm thinking maybe longer, just a guess.
Yeah.
And, most of his fillies or horses go to Mr. Amos, right? Just won his 4,000th race. I mean, that's his principal trainer.
I think that's right.
Okay.
But he's my recollection is he grew up in Maryland, so I think he likes to have a little Maryland action.
Maybe he's
from
here
time
at
to
the fair
time.
today.
So maybe he's here today. You should come by and say hi to us if he
should.
All right, let's go to the 4th race. This is a starter optional for horses that have started for claiming price of 16 or less in their last 3 starts, or optional claiming price 25,000. We're going 6.5 furlongs here, and once again, the gang agrees. Proceed at your peril. Red Paisley for the Kieran McGee barn arrives off a super impressive effort.
Claimed from the Sanchez barn and hits the winner's circle. That's hard to do. It was first time gelding that day, and also thanks to Keith Fustel, a note that's not in your past performances and some Equibase PPs, I guess. It was also cheek pieces on, if that makes any difference to you. And sometimes for some horses, yes.
Also blinkers off.
Oh, blinkers off, first time gelding, but cheek pieces on. So a few changes there. Whatever it was, it did the trick. sharp fractions, had every right to stop, kept on going, and not only going, but drew off Byers up with a career high 80 figure. The pace was quick no matter which way you slice it. Winding up in a short field here, I don't think anybody's as quick. There's going to be a single on a lot of tickets in the start of the pick 6, pick 3s, pick 4s, early pick 5s.
Any way you slice it. In fact, this horse was part of a 3-horse vanguard early in that last race at Laurel Park. The other 2 ended up finishing 6th and 8th. So he basically ran 2 other horses completely into the ground and then drew away. So the closers were not coming close to him. That was a really, really good effort. And as you say, we got a couple scratches here. You want to take out the 2, 4, and 6. That's going to leave a 4-horse field. I think it's, as you say, send and make them catch you.
Yeah, I think it'll be the game. It was blinkers off, as you pointed out. Cheek piece is on. I love blinkers off horses with early speed. Seems counterintuitive, but a lot of times they relax a lot more, especially horse, not just with early speed, but dueling early speed who can stay around in the middle portion of the race. So good claim and good action taken there in the various changes by the McGee barn for Rad Paisley. So maybe the way to play it if you're not involved in pick 3s, pick 4s, and pick everythings is maybe hit a cold exacta here with a No Moran on the bottom. I'll pick it 3-1.
Yeah, we both went 3-1. Both looking for maybe a little bit of a bounce back effort from No Moran. A little bit of off-color races recently. Plenty of good form if you go back a few, and if he can kind of recapture that for Farrier and Boca Chica, that's a horse that could have something to say at the end. And we'll also say Rad Paisley is Gary Quill's best bet of the day. GQ approach on the Racing Biz, theracingbiz.com, every day of the Timonium meet. On to race 5. This is a optional first level allowance, a other than 16 claimer, going 6.5, and once again we agree on the top horse. That is Southern Bridge for Jamie Ness and J.D. Acosta. And what you got here, Dave?
Well, he's the third after the layoff. Ness is 22% with that type move. Third off with this kind of layoff. Ran against Undercover Kitty last time out, a stakes winner and stakes placed horse. A little over his head there. The race on the comeback was behind the Graham Motion train. Zatip, not a bad effort, prompting the pace after time away. I like the fact that the horse has had 2 workouts since his mile and 70 effort against the stakes winner, stakes place, Undercover Kitty. I think he's fit. He's ready to roll. It's now or never. I think he's got to be 1-2 in this spot, my opinion.
Nah, I'm with you on all that. Undercover Kitty had won the off-the-turf crowd pleaser stakes the race prior to Southern Bridge seeing him, and Undercover Kitty was 3-5 in the spot that he ran against Southern Bridge, went right to the front and won. Came back to be second in an off-the-turf stake at Laurel Park on a mile and 3/16. So that's a real runner right there. This one isn't quite at that level, but he's not going to have to be in this spot here. So we're both using Southern Bridge. You've got Jimmy the Kid underneath for a little value, Dave.
Oh yeah, okay. I was looking at tapping the glass there, looking at some comments. Yeah, this horse is maybe has had enough time between races to run his best today. He was claimed May 27th. Hits. Everybody, grab a seat. Okay, so he was second off of the claim. Then they tried him in a turf experiment with not too much time between races. Gave him 20 days off, came back, good effort, a win, and then they ran him back pretty quick, and now they've given him a little bit more time between races here. Angel Cruz, normally a rider there for the Solomon Barn, and a lot of his runners coming aboard. For Jimmy the Kid, another horse maybe they can pick up the pace late is Tapping the Glass, who's capable, I think, of a middle move or perhaps picking up late. So if you like the 2 like I do, I'm going to make 2 exactas, 2 over 3 and 5.
And those are better than mine because I ended up on more obvious horses. So I go 2, 7, 6. Dave goes 253.
The Penaloza barn.
Yeah, yeah.
Who I think I had a note on. Didn't they scratch another horse later today or earlier today? I don't know. Interesting move.
Yeah, I mean, the Penaloza horse, I just, last time out just seemed,
Yes.
that's the 7, Can't Stop This Man, just seemed outfooted in that race, just really never got involved. Ought to be in a better spot going 6.5 here and breaking from the outside. Ought to be able to get a chance to kind of eyeball what's going on and put this horse in a good spot.
I hate to waste a stat. All that hours and hours of handicapping.
What you got?
You know, with the beer cans lined up on both sides of the chair.
The Hungry Man dinner at your side?
Yeah. Miguel Penaloza, who scratched a horse earlier today, Excursion. He's running your horse here, the 7 in this race. The last 60 days, hot as could be, 5 for 21 in the winner's circle. So they scratch one, keep one in. I might have to do a little save action there.
All right. Well,
all right.
You hear it from the stat man, Dave Rodman, right there. All right, Dave, let's turn to the 6th race.
Yeah.
This is more or less the same condition as the 5th race, minus the claiming tag. So this is a first level allowance going 6.5 here for 3 and up. And looky here, Smarty John. The Brain Trust says it's Smarty John.
If Frank Miramati is listening up at Monmouth, here's your chance. Because I sent him a text before his run at Monmouth, Smarty John's run at Monmouth, and I said, mortal lock, can't lose. Nightmare trip, ridiculous trip up there at Monmouth for Claudio's Smarty John coming back. I think he's going to redeem himself today. Good breaks all he need, and I think that's it. He's gone. That was a very impressive early pacey chase there at Laurel. Assumed the lead and drew off at command. You can use the 5 Asking for a Baskin in the mix as well. He's been capable of running some big ones in the past. Last few, maybe not as sharp, but, you've got a barn here who's capable of, getting them back to best form in a heartbeat, the Solomon barn. And they're going to Yomar Ortiz today. Always looking at Yomar's horses here at Timonium for some good betting value. 1-5.
I got Aviles on the 5.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. You're right.
Yomar's on the 4. Sagrada Rey, who is a horse I'm using a little bit. Dave is not. Sagrada Rey, nice effort last time for Gary Capuano, winning a 40,000 never win 2 claimer on the front end, shortening up from a mile and a 16th to 6.5 here. 4 out of 5 horses out of that race that have run back have run 1-2, including 2 next out winners. So pretty good heat that Sagrada Rey comes out of. A note on Smarty John, I just want to expand on what you said. Your note that you wrote down there was ridiculous trip, and it really was. This horse was continuously in trouble basically the whole backstretch. He was being, he was in tight, he was steadied, he was choked. It was just a tough trip for Smarty John.
I didn't say ridiculous.
Your note says ridiculous.
But I didn't say it.
I outed you. I revealed your handicapping secrets. But if you're going to use a phrase like mortal lock, which makes me feel like I'm in Let It Ride here, the 2's a mortal lock, and I'm going to wheel it.
Well, I can't even get the rider straight, but actually that was the form from the original. You're right. Yomar Ortiz opted for the 4. Aviles is going for the 5, but I don't let that sway me very much. I don't know. That was an interesting call on Yomar's part, if that was his call.
Yeah,
because I think Sagrada Rey kind of needs the lead, and I don't believe he's going to get it, but my opinion.
No, he's going to have to hustle if he wants the lead here, which all of which, there is other speed, and that also works perhaps to Smarty John's advantage.
I'm picking at 1 on top after the ridiculous trip. There,
right.
I said it.
All right. I won't make you say it again, Dave.
Okay.
All right, let's turn to the 7th race. This is 5,000 never win 2 fillies. Going 6.5 here at the Big T, and this is like it's like a what's the word I want? Mutual Admiration Society.
No,
Dave Rodman.
I had a lot of trouble with this race, and decided to just go with Middle Island, who happened to be your top pick as well. Second off the claim, and he's coming back off of 1 run here at Laurel, and so. But the horse I kind of wanted to pick, you're going to laugh at me. Don't laugh at me. He's already
I can't
laughing.
help it.
He's already laughing. Race 8, scratch, number 3, late scratch.
Okay, late
That's our
scratch
stage
of the
manager,
3
Keith
in the
Fustel.
8th race. Thank you, Keith Fustel. So take out the
Stage
3 horse
manager,
in the
morning
8th
line
race.
maker, Equibase. What more do you
He
want?
does it all.
Everywhere.
He is truly a man for all seasons.
Anyway, don't laugh at me. He's
I-
already laughed.
I'm trying not to.
I'm trying to make a case for over and over again as a long shot play, forced to chase quick fractions on the turf last time out. Can she get clear today? I don't know. So I almost put her on top, throwing that pass that nobody's going to catch.
He's going deep.
And
You know what? I didn't use that horse, but I did look at her quite a little bit, because this is where she needs to be.
Okay.
She won nicely at first asking. They tried her against better, and she's not better. This is who she is. This is where she needs to be. This is the proper spot for this horse. And I feel like, a lot of times when horses try something that's too hard, then you drop them into the spot where they fit, you get a bounce back to a better effort. So I didn't use her, but I can't laugh at you. Good afternoon, Baltimore County.
let's hear for Baltimore.
I guess it's Baltimore County Day here at Timonium.
Yeah, it is.
All right, are
All
you
right.
good on the
Yeah,
7th?
I'm going.
8th race.
Let's go to the 8th race if you can hear us.
If you can hear us, we got a 2 other than going 6.5 furlong, second level ounce, feature of the day. Take out the 3, take out the 4. Hey, we've got a slightly different outcome in mind here. Dave, you're going with Margie's Heaven. She's the morning line favorite.
Yeah,
I am
and-
going with Award Wanted, who is 2-1 on the morning
Yeah,
line.
Fly Me Home, a late scratch, as we just announced earlier. Proper attire is out. So a couple of speeds are out. I thought there was a lot of speed in the race.
Yep.
And I said, well, maybe I'll just pick the speed of the speed. And now that the other couple of speeds are out at least, I'm even a little more confident in Margie's Heaven in this spot. She was second behind Feed to Spree late last year at Laurel Park, good enough for me. And behind Spun Glass on the turf last time out, who looks like a really, really nice mare coming around for the Trombetta Barn in the Grass. I've seen her chase and survive.
Yeah, I'm tending a little more in your direction. The scratches are bothering me here. I had Award Wanted, and I had her specifically because I think the flow of the race when everybody was in was really going to work for her. There's a bunch of speed. Margie's Heaven, Fly Me Home, Proper Attire, even Response Time. These are all horses that want to be forwardly placed, but 2 of those are out, and so you're left with Margie's Heaven and
The response time will be quick, right?
Response Time
Right.
as your speed horses here. Might still work for Award Wanted. Award Wanted, gonna sit off the pace most likely, try to run past them, try to make a move in
Yeah.
a lane with the X-Man up for Jerry Robb. I think it's interesting. When the Robb barn had 2 in here, also had Proper Attire, I kind of thought that one might be sort of on a mission to heat up the pace. Now that that horse is out, I guess it tells me they just like Award Wanted.
Well, if they do something crazy, response time and Margie's Heaven, Award Wanted, right? We'll see. If she's a shade of her former self, she can withstand some heat, I would
Margie's
think.
Heaven.
Hmm?
Margie's Heaven.
Margie's Heaven, right.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I think that's right. A little bit off color last time, but that was on the turf. You draw a line through that. So Dave goes 1-2. I go 2-1.
Speaking of speed, in the last race, scratch the 2, Waterloo Rose. Special Freedom's going to be my pick in here.
So it is.
I think it's the speed. You? No?
I ended up on the
other
chalk
speed.
here, Targe, because Targe. I don't know. I don't feel strongly. I didn't really have a strong feel for this race.
Maybe chargeably in front, but I think Special Freedom, by the time they hit the far turn, will be latched onto her, and then the inhalation begins. That's just my.
Well, if you're using a word like inhalation, I got nothing.
Well, guess it's, she's the kind of horse where if she runs back to that race at Laurel in June, she could be right on Targe's tail by the time they reach the far turn.
Catch a Targe by the tail.
Yeah, catch your Targe by the tail. Ferris Allen Barn stretching out, sprint to route. Drum roll, please. 8%. But a positive return on investment.
We love the positive ROI.
She's run second so many times, Frank. I don't know, Special Freedom 5 times out of 21.
9 times second or third, 21
9
starts,
times second
but
or
just
third. I
2
think
wins.
today's the day.
Today the day. A horse I like, you get maybe a little price on at 8-1 is the one horse, Some Is 9. This horse has been seeing better horses for a long time. Last time out, the Saray barn got a little, finally said, okay, we're going to put this horse at the bottom. It's where she belongs. This horse runs pretty well. This was a bad trip. She bore out to about the 7 path around in the first turn, was wide on both turns, kept with it all the way to the wire, gets beat 3/4 of a length. I don't know that that was the greatest field ever, but I don't know that this is the greatest field ever either. I think this is a filly that maybe that's a sneaky good effort and maybe make a little bit of noise at a price. If you already like Dave's horse, you get a little bit better price than you get on Targe, who is evenly money.
Yeah. Well, Some Is 9 ran against Special Freedom back in June, and she got a lot of play. She showed speed, stopped that race, but kind of, off and on kind of a filly. If anything's going to happen and she's going to win, today could be the day. The Super 99 stretching out dirt routes pretty good. I think I tabbed at 17%. So.
And Saray and Whitaker teamed up last Saturday with Breviary to upset the Timonium Distaff Stakes.
Yeah.
So maybe a little bit of a hot hand there. Any last thoughts, Dave?
Well, I probably should have gone 5-1-3-4. That was my last thought. But not that it makes any difference, but it might if you're playing. The more I look at the one, and perhaps the stretch out will really, really help her. And given the connections, firing with those long shots, she's an off and on type horse, and she was okay at Charlestown last time out, picking up pieces, closing the gap. She could do the same thing today. So in doubles or pick 3s or pick 4s, etc., I'm going to protect a little bit of both there. I'll call it 5-1-3-4 just for the record.
I went 4-1-3-5, so similar horses jumbled up, but a lot of agreement on this card today from Dave and me. Last thoughts, Dave? On your way up to the booth.
It's Friday.
What's that?
It's Friday.
It is Friday.
You know what that means?
Fried Oreos?
Yes.
Callie had fried Oreos the other day, so fried Oreo day on Friday. That's going to do it here for us on the Big T today. I'm Frank Vespi. He's Dave Rodman. We hope you are winning bettors today. 30 to post here on Friday, September 2nd. Have a great day, everybody.
It's Baltimore County Day.
And it's Baltimore County Day. We love that.